so's awesome. If you wanna, first time doing this, so boom, boom, boom. Trying out new shit. Hopefully, we'll get this set up a little bit better. But I was just trying to get the lighting down. I literally got back home like 30 minutes before the podcast and started setting up the actual setup. Yeah. So I'm already 2 segments down. Talked about UFC 274 already. We're gonna go over that more next week when we do the pod bet and all that. We're gonna be throwing it on Twitter and shit. And I already went through Fight Night London, which just got announced today. July 23rd, they're going back to London, and they got a fight headlined already between Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades, which is going to be a huge fight.
Yeah. I got, we go Tom Aspinall.
It's too early for me. I got to think about that one, because if Aspinall gets on the ground, Curtis Blades is going to fuck him up. But I don't know if Blades is going to be able to get Aspinall on the ground. He's too quick, dude.
I think Aspinall on the ground is still, like, he's not,
He has a good ground game.
He's still, like, no one really knows how good he is, but he looks fucking good, and his striking's good, so I'm gonna go that his ground game is not as good as his striking, but pretty similar in skill, so I'm gonna go, I'm gonna edge it to Aspinall by decision.
Aspinall's jiu-jitsu is definitely good, because we just saw him, I think he Kimura'd Alexander Volkov for the win, and then his rear naked choke against Andrei Arlovsky, which we saw last year, was so technically beautiful that everybody was like, oh, this guy isn't a boxer anymore. And then he goes out and knocks someone out and then submits him again. So Aspinall definitely has a really great game. His jiu-jitsu's great, better than Blades, and his striking's better than Blades. But I don't know if his wrestling is, because we haven't seen too much of his wrestling.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he's gonna do, obviously, but I think the striking's gonna make him second guess the wrestling if he cannot get him down. So meaning if like Aspinall's piecing him up, Curtis Blade might be hesitant to take him down, because he's fucked up. He can't do it, and I think he won't be able to. I think Aspinall is going to be future-weight contender.
Yeah, I do too.
Future contender.
He's also young too.
Yeah.
I think it's stylistically a terrible matchup for Blades.
It is a bad matchup for Blades, but it's a bad matchup for Aspinall in the fact that Blades is so good at wrestling.
Right. And not only that, but we did just see Blades knock out Chris Daukaus. Like his striking shouldn't be underrated either.
But
it's not as good as Aspinall.
I match like Curtis Blades, Chris Daukaus. We all knew Curtis Blades was going to win that.
Right.
Weeks before the fight happened, because the number moves so much. And then I match up Aspinall and Daukaus together, and I think Aspinall clearly beats Chris Daukaus.
Yeah, definitely.
Clearly beats him. Like it's more clearly than
I haven't seen
Curtis Blades.
I haven't seen a guy make his way in the heavyweight division and so clearly be already at a top 5 level in a long time. Like
I would say Cyril Gane.
Cyril Gane was up there
he was
too.
Only 9 he was only 9-0.
But we didn't see Cyril Gane fight top level opponents and fuck him up. Like he beat Tanner Boser by 3-round decision, and then he beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik by 5-round decision. Like he didn't fuck anyone up. He was just better. He outclassed people.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best example before Tom Aspinall, at least the closest one.
Yeah.
But Aspinall finishes Arlovsky in the second round. And then he knocks out, I'm forgetting right now, but he knocked out someone in the middle of that. Sergey Spivak. Knocked out Sergey Spivak in the first round. And then he knocks down Alex Volkov and submits him in the first round. And he does it all with barely getting touched. He's so much faster than everybody. His confidence is really good. Like, this dude's clearly top 5 already.
Yeah.
And he did just get put, I want to say he's number 6 now.
Yeah, I think he's top 5, and I would put him top 3.
I would have loved to see Aspinall versus Cyril Gane.
Yeah, which is going to happen.
I think it will happen. The UFC, the heavyweight division is on fucking fire.
Gane needs to face
right now.
somebody before he faces.
Well, Cyril Gane is already in the works with fighting Tai Tuivasa. That's what the UFC is trying to make next.
I don't know. I gotta go with Cyril Gane.
That's a good fight, though.
I gotta go with Cyril Gane.
Really good fight because, dude.
Tai Tuivasa kind of matches Ngannou's style.
Right, exactly. Except Tuivasa's not as good wrestler, and he's not going to try to wrestle.
Not as good a wrestler as Ngannou?
Yeah.
Well, Ngannou doesn't really wrestle.
He wrestled the fuck out of Cyril Gane. He did.
No, he didn't really wrestle
yes, he
him.
did.
No.
Oh, yes, he
No,
did.
he didn't really wrestle him.
He did.
No, he didn't. Cyril Gane got... the only thing he did different, okay, because that's the only time he didn't get fucked up on the ground. The only thing he did different was let him take him to his back. Because that's what everyone was wondering. Is he going to go to his back, or is he going to, like, put his arm... jiu-jitsu guys would know, put his arm down and then obviously Gane would take his back and choke him out. Mm-hmm. But he let him go to the back, and he's so fucking strong that he switched it.
Right. That was in the 5th round.
In the 5th round, yeah.
And then in the 3rd and 4th round, he got takedowns too, and Gane didn't get up. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th round was Ngannou on top of Gane.
Which is why I like John Jones even more, man.
Against Ngannou?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that fight, Francis versus Gane, gave me... I already thought Ngannou was a top 3 heavyweight because he can knock anybody the fuck out.
Anybody. John Jones, anybody.
And now
Brock Lesnar,
that
anybody.
Ngannou has at least
Frank Mir.
a very credible ground game.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bare minimum of what you could say about his wrestling game, whatever. He at least is sufficient on the ground.
Yeah.
That has put him in a new fucking stratosphere for me. If you would ask me, yes. If you would ask me before UFC 270,
He hasn't really...
which was January.
He hasn't really been tested on the ground.
No, he hasn't. But we all thought that Cyril Gane would take down Ngannou and fuck him up on the ground because that's what we saw against Stipe.
Well, he did take him to the ground.
Gane had one takedown, yes.
He did take him to the ground.
But Ngannou outclassed him on the ground.
Yeah. We also thought Ngannou was going to knock him out, too.
Right. And he didn't. And then we find out that Ngannou had like 2 fucked up knees.
Yeah.
He did that
I think John Jones... John Jones wins by...
I still think John Jones beats Ngannou. I definitely do.
By decision.
Until John Jones loses, I'm going to say John Jones beats everybody.
Everybody, bro.
Right.
Everybody.
So,
like,
but
I was thinking today, like, you put 5,000 on him. I shouldn't have said the dollars, but you put $5,000 on him at minus 200 and sweat out the 2,500 beaners. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. That is a bet. That is a legitimate bet if he's minus 1.
So,
and I don't think he's minus 200. I think he's like minus 150, minus 140.
I think he's minus 200, and I think his...
I think so.
That's where the lines come out at.
I don't think so. I think it's much close.
And I think his number goes...
Because people are going to be talking like you.
That John Jones is going to fuck everybody up.
No, that Ngannou was good on the ground.
Oh, shit.
He has a better chance. They're going to push that.
Yeah, but John Jones versus Stipe, I don't think goes to the ground at all.
Oh, no, John Jones, Stipe. Yeah, well, yeah, John Jones, Stipe. John Jones is going to fuck him up.
You're saying John Jones versus Ngannou?
Yeah.
Jones
no, I was talking... Yeah, I was talking... I know. We'll talk about the Stipe.
Well, that's going to be different. I don't even want to speculate on that yet because John Jones...
why not?
Well, because so much of what the numbers are going to come out for...
Well, what do you think it would open up to?
It's going to depend on what happens between Jones and Miocic.
No, it wouldn't. Let's say no, because we've always thought these past, 3 months, he hasn't even been calling out Miocic. He's been calling out Ngannou. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think that would open up to? Minus 200? Minus 150? Minus 170?
Well...
Or is it does it favor Ngannou closer to the fight?
Here's why I say that, and then I'm going to answer your question. I think that if Jones goes to a decision and beats Miocic, his number is closer to Ngannou than if John Jones knocks out Miocic in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? If Jones gets a knockout, I think he's going to be more closer to a favorite. But, that being said...
Do you think it does go to the ground, dude?
That being said, I think that Jones versus Ngannou opens up, really damn close to even.
Yeah.
Really fucking close to even.
Minus 150, I think, and then it gets closer. It gets more closer towards the fight because people are going to.
Is John Jones the favorite in that fight?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if he is.
obviously.
We got to see him fight at heavyweight first. If this fight between him and Miocic doesn't happen...
So you don't put him as a favorite because he doesn't have a fight in heavyweight?
Yes. Personally, I'm taking him as the favorite.
I am taking him as the favorite. I am taking him as the favorite.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, I've been talking up John Jones versus Ngannou for like over a year now. Like, that's been the fucking fight that I've wanted to see.
Maybe a year, yeah.
And after that fight against Gon, I'm so much less confident in John Jones to beat Ngannou. Because if you would have asked me how the fight would go last year, I'd say Jones would pick him apart, use his distance in the first round, stay the fuck away from him, run away. And then rounds 2, 3, 4, take him down.
He is going to take him down, bro. There's a level, right? There's levels in this. Just like Charles Oliveira and Chandler.
Jones definitely has a better ground game than Ngannou. I'm not saying he doesn't.
Way better. I think.
But Ngannou's ground game is no longer considered bad, like it was in the first Stipe fight.
You can't just say it's not considered bad because of one fight, though.
I am.
Because of one fight.
Yes, I am.
Well, that's bad because one fight cannot judge somebody in MMA. It really can't because.
All right. Well, let's look at the progression. Let's look at the last
progression?
2 times Ngannou's been on the ground. The first time was the first
shy.
fight against Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
And he got obliterated on the ground for 5 rounds. All 5 rounds, Stipe took him down, and Ngannou had nothing for him. Fast forward 2 years, and you have Ngannou out-wrestling Cyril Gane for 3 rounds. Not taking him down every time, but he out-wrestled him for 3 rounds. On his way to getting a decision
Cyril Gane
victory.
is... Yeah, but is Cyril Gane hyped up?
Yes.
Which is also my other point. Like, is Cyril Gane really Cyril Gane? Like, is he really that good of a...
That's a great debate to have.
Because I know, like, people think he's really good because he was 9-0, you know what I mean? Like, people hold high regard to the undefeated record. So I think, yo, listen, Tai Tuivasa could beat Cyril Gane. That's a great matchup.
Could.
It's a great matchup.
I don't know. I'm hammering Cyril Gane in that fight.
Yeah, so would I. But it's like, who's Tai Tuivasa going to face? I can't think of it.
They're trying to get Tai Tuivasa to face Cyril Gane.
They are trying to?
Yeah, that's the fight that they're trying to
Yeah, Cyril Gane wins
They're
it.
trying to get Stipe versus Jones, which is now rumored to be September. Gane versus Tuivasa, and Blades versus Aspinall, which Blades versus Aspinall just got announced today. So that fight's gonna happen.
Listen,
Barring injuries, that's still 3 months away.
Tai Tuivasa's knocked out a lot of people.
5-fight knockout streak?
Cyril Gane has knocked out approximately 0 people, I think.
He's knocked someone out. He knocked out Volkov, I think.
Volkov, okay. Well, Tai Tuivasa knocked out Derek Lewis.
Right.
You know, the guy that owns the most knockouts in the heavyweight division.
Probably the best knockout of the year so far, too.
Yeah, so I think that is... Man, Tai Tuivasa could...
Now, talking about
like
Francis Ngannou versus John Jones is all good and fun, and I love talking about this, but there's another variable to this equation, and that is that Francis Ngannou, first of all, is going to have to get healthy. He's not going to fight until 2023. And Francis Ngannou clearly wants to box Tyson Fury. They've both come out and said they want to do it. After Fury's last fight, he was in the ring with Fury saying that they want to box. Which brings us to our third point. Tyson Fury officially retired from professional boxing today. Or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So Tyson Fury ends his boxing career. He could come back.
He's going to sign to fucking either Barstool Sports.
He's 32-0-1. Finishes as another undefeated boxer. Not in the 50-0 category as Floyd, but...
Fuck Floyd.
Tyson Fury, in my opinion, is a top 5 heavyweight of all time for boxing.
Yeah.
And there's a strong case to make him number 2. Behind Muhammad Ali.
No. I think like there's big boxing fans out there, like Joe Rogan, that would not even put Tyson Fury close to the top 5.
So Joe Rogan's already said that he's
Marvin
one of the
Hagler.
best.
Like you got like all these fighters, like
sure, you have Tyson, you have Holyfield, you have Joe Lewis. Like,
yeah,
there's a bunch of boxers that you can say, but
all
none of them are undefeated. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, they're not undefeated. Yeah.
And I mean, in the era that Tyson Fury was fighting in, he didn't fight Anthony Joshua. That's going to be a legacy mark on him.
No. Because he beats the fuck out of Anthony Joshua.
He beat Deontay Wilder twice, who was the other best heavyweight in the division in the world for his era. He beat Dylan White. He never fought Alexander Usyk, which is another big name in heavyweight boxing right now.
Yeah.
But he's 32-0.
He's gonna
He beat
unify all
Klitschko.
those.
He didn't have the level of competition as, say, a Holyfield, Tyson, or Ali. But that being said, no one beat him, and you can say whatever you want, but one of the best heavyweights of all time did retire, and I can see next year a boxing exhibition match between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. I can see that happening.
In a cage, not in a boxing ring. I'm
Tyson
making that
Fury,
call right now.
Tyson Fury has come out with videos of him training Muay Thai, like throwing knees and kicks and shit. And if that happens, if it's a kickboxing match, do you now put Ngannou at the favorite?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Motherfucker's gonna get one kick to the knee, bro, and be done.
Yeah, maybe.
Come
I think
on.
it certainly evens the playing field. I don't think it drastically puts Ngannou at the favorite. I will say this: if it's a boxing match,
dude.
if it's just a straight boxing match, Tyson Fury is the favorite.
Oh, he is winning that by millions of miles. And he's talking about not even using gloves.
Yeah, he wants to use like 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah,
which is smaller than
UFC.
UFC.
Yeah.
I think UFC does 6 ounce.
I think they're 4.
Okay. But that's going to throw a monkey wrench in the whole John Jones heavyweight Ngannou championship picture. Just saying, if that happens next year. Which Ngannou will follow the money because he's been talking about making the money for the last year or
Yeah,
two.
the problem is that he's still under contract with the UFC, and it really
but
don't
his
matter.
contract ends in a year. That was the stipulation that he had against Cyril Gane. If he remained the champion, he's either under contract for another year until he loses the belt or 3 fights.
Yeah, I thought
So
it was
he
2 or
could-
3 fights. I think it's
either
2
way
fights.
if it's 2 or 3 fights. But if that contract goes over the time length, he's a free agent.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that easy.
Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't. I'm sure UFC lawyers and Dana White would string that shit out
definitely
for as long
not.
as possible.
Definitely not a year. I don't buy that. Sorry.
But if I'm Francis Ngannou, I am waiting out and going to court and trying to get out of the contract to fight fucking Tyson Fury and make a $10-20 million payday.
Or he don't even need to get out of his contract. Tyson Fury can fucking get signed by Dana White, dude, and fucking work out the pay-per-view deal. Why? He's training Muay Thai.
Because wrestling is a completely different game.
Zach, he's about to fight. He's about to go from boxing to a Muay Thai fight. It's already completely different.
It is completely different,
Yeah.
but it's even a bigger jump to go to wrestling. To go to a complete MMA fight.
No, but he's not.
I got like 7 minutes, by the way, because I am doing a draft show after this.
Yeah, no, I think, I forgot what I was going to say, whatever.
Francis Ngannou. Which would you rather see? Ngannou versus Fury or Ngannou versus Jones? Let's say Ngannou versus Fury.
Ngannou Jones, bro.
Yeah, me too.
And that's not even like a biased thing. That's just.
Alright, last thing I got for you.
That's just a better. Just a better matchup.
Right. Last thing I got for you, last segment of the show. I went through all the divisions, and I went through some of the best fighters that could potentially make a divisional jump, or could have a catchweight fight. And I made 15 matchups, so I'm going to fire these off at you.
Okay.
Of fights that probably won't happen, but fights that could happen based on divisional...
Okay, I'll get out of the way.
Alright, ready?
It looks like I'm getting interrogated with this light behind me in the camera.
Alright, first matchup. I got 15 of these. I'm going to fire them off.
Alright.
You can give an explanation or not, whatever you want to do.
I'll try and I'll give a 1-sentence explanation.
Okay.
I'll try to give a 1 to 2 sentence explanation as to why.
Volkanovski versus Oliveira.
Damn, that's a fucking...
I'm warning you now. I put a lot of time in this. I am these are really tough matchups.
Volkanovski, Oliveira. I'm gonna go Oliveira, dude.
I'm gonna go Volkanovski.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Oliveira, just because. Man, his ground game is something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is with Ortega. All right, I'm gonna switch it. Volkanovski.
That was my thought process.
The
Volkanovski went against a really good jiu-jitsu artist. Not as good as Oliveira, but a good jiu-jitsu artist against Ortega and fended off 2 tight
Brian
submissions.
Ortega's in the wrong division too. Brian Ortega needs to go up, and
Mm-hmm.
he would. Brian Ortega's probably top 5 easily. Maybe not easily because that's a really tough division. If Volkanovski and Ortega go up there, this is a long explanation, but it's not even an explanation. Both of them are top 5 in the lightweight division.
All right, next matchup.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling goes up a division to fight Max Holloway.
Max Holloway. I don't even give a fuck. Fuck Aljamain.
I am the same way. All right. Dustin Poirier goes up a division to fight Colby Covington.
Colby. It's not even
I got
close,
Colby
bro.
too. Adesanya goes up a division. Again. To fight Yuri Prochazka.
Yuri Prochazka.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
I think that is the best stand-up matchup that could potentially happen in the UFC.
Yeah, Yuri Prochazka knocks his head off.
Think so?
I know so.
Cool.
I'm
Okay.
not even second guessing it.
I'm going Adesanya.
That's a loss for him.
Connor goes up a division
Uh,
to fight Jorge Masvidal.
we talked about this the other
Yeah,
day.
we have.
Talked about this the other day. I'm gonna go Connor.
I'm gonna go Connor too.
Style wise.
Mhm.
Hey, whoa.
Whoa.
His style sucks now, though. So if he doesn't change his style, Jorge wins.
Okay.
Rest my case.
This fight I got because last week we saw Jessica Andrade fuck up Ariana Lemos.
We'll have to want some money.
Jessica Andrade,
One Ryan.
who is already 1-1, so this would be a trilogy fight versus Rose Namajunas.
Rose.
I'm gonna have to say Rose as well. I think Rose is at the peak of her fucking powers.
I think
right
Rose.
now.
I think she's already proved her point, and usually it's the person that wins the second fight is the better opponent, and she won the first and second fight.
All right, these matchups are not getting any easier. I'm letting you know right now.
Just 11,
Sean O'Malley goes up a division
which he should.
and fights Ilya
Right.
Tuporia.
Tuporia.
You know I'm a big Tuporia guy. I love me Tuporia. I think Sean O'Malley wins. I think his reach is way too fucking...
O'Malley's chin blows. No offense, Sean O'Malley. I love you
And his
to
legs.
death. I'm a huge fan of him. I like him as a person. I think his vibe's immaculate. He's a straight up dude. Honestly, he is. But I got Ilya Tuporia.
All right, I think this one's probably obvious, but...
Hang on, Ilya Tuporia's in Paddy Pimblett's division. That's like 2 divisions.
No, he's not. Ilya Tuporia is a division down from Paddy Pimblett. He's in featherweight. His
Paddy
last
Pimblett's not
fight
lightweight.
was like... Yeah, he is. Pimblett's lightweight.
He is lightweight. Okay.
Tuporia's last fight was lightweight, but he went up a division. He's normally a featherweight.
Can we get a 162-pound division? Okay, go ahead.
Ready? This one I think might be obvious, but I think you like the underdog in this fight. I know you do, so I'm interested to see your reasoning. Kamaru Usman at 170 fighting Islam Makhachev.
Pretty sure they train together. No, they don't train. No, they don't. I'm gonna go Usman because I know Usman has the bigger reach.
Mhm.
I do like Islam, but
I think as long as
that's a stand up. That's a stand up division, and Usman's good on the ground too.
never been taken down. That's probably the first time Usman ever gets taken down. He got taken down by Colby. They just didn't score it as a takedown.
It was a takedown.
Yeah.
It was a takedown.
All right.
Yo, Kobe might beat Usman if they face the third time, man. I don't know.
All right. Davison Figueiredo moves up a division. He fights Piotr Jan.
Oh man, that's such an even fight.
That's
I'm
a
gonna go
really good one.
Jan, because I think Jan beats Brendan Moreno. Is this how I look at fight? This is like how I look at fights, like previous opponents. How would that guy match up against the guy that he beat and lost to? Like, I think I think Jan would beat Brendan Moreno, and I think he would beat Figueiredo too. Yeah, better striker, more stamina.
I think I got Jan too.
It's a tough one though.
All right, this fight I can't take credit for. This fight's been circulating on Twitter, and even we talked about it a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, Jake Paul.
Khamzat Chimaev goes up a division and fights Marvin Vettori.
Yeah, Kamaev. I'm not second-guessing it.
Fucking... Yeah, I guess you're right. You really can't second-guess Kamaev at this point, but Vettori is a really, really tough matchup. They're the same kind of fighter.
It's a great
fight.
It is. It's a great fight.
I'm going to take Kamaev too, though.
It's like you,
right?
I just got to stop second-guessing fights and just...
This is one of my favorites, and as I've been looking at all these, I have not been able to pick the winner of this fight. Brian Ortega moves up a division and fights Tony Ferguson.
Oh, Brian Ortega.
Yeah?
Oh, right away.
Both really great jiu-jitsu artists.
Right, yeah, better striking, more... the weird styles out of MMA now. Tony Ferguson, your style is old. It has a lot of holds in it now. The striking aspect of MMA has gotten a lot better. The kickboxing, Muay Thai, ground game, everything has gotten better in Tony Ferguson's time in the UFC. And I'm gonna say it, Tony Ferguson, you should not be ranked.
That is a hot fucking take. Holy shit.
Yeah, you should not be ranked. And I'm gonna end it on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna end it on that.
Next fight, Darren Till. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Bilal Muhammad goes up a division and fights Darren Till.
It's interesting because Darren Till was in that division, moved up, so they would. I would respect a catchweight bout, but if he's moving up in the division, man, that's fucking tough. Go fucking Bilal Muhammad.
I'm gonna go Muhammad too.
I almost said
Muhammad's
Darren
well
Till,
lately.
but Bilal Muhammad. Listen,
if
you've bet on Bilal Muhammad in his career in the UFC, you would have been cashing out like a fucking bandit because he's like plus 160
in every fight.
all the fucking minus 140 I think was his highest number, and minus 160. Like, I'm not gonna second guess it anymore. Bilal Muhammad's gained my respect.
All right, now I got some funny matchups.
Okay.
First one is Dylan Dennis fighting Dana White.
Dylan Dennis, obviously.
I like Dana White in that.
What do you mean?
I like Dana White in that.
He's old as fuck. He's gonna get his bell rocked.
Maybe. Dana White's a
What
big
do you
dude,
mean,
though.
dude?
Dana White's a
Dylan-
big dude. Dylan
Dylan
Dennis
Dennis
is
isn't
all
a big
top.
dude.
He's all top. No, Dana White is, I'm saying.
Dylan Dennis isn't.
Not really. Dana's gotta
Bro, if
outweigh
you
Dylan
win-
Dennis
if you
by like
s-
40 pounds.
Bro,
Dana's
Dylan
probably
Dennis-
pushing 2 bills. Dylan Dennis is like 150.
Dylan Dennis makes you look small at 150.
What?
Yeah, he would make you look small.
Okay, if you say so.
I would say so. You would make me look like a fucking twig. You know, you make me look like a leaf in the wind. Dylan Dennis would fuck up Dana White.
Okay.
Fuck him up. What's Dana White, like 240? What, he runs like a 6-7 second 40-yard dash? No, get the fuck out of here.
40-yard dash. 40-yard dash is such a
No,
stupid stat.
Stupid stat? Bro, his stamina is fucking atrocious. I bet he's gonna be hacking up.
You're definitely right, though, that is actually a fighter, but I think that Dana White has some jiu-jitsu experience. Anyway, we're going to keep going because this is all hypothetical. This is all funny anyway. Snoop Dogg, who does have kickboxing experience,
Oh my god.
versus Steve Will Do It.
Steve Will Do It. Fucking trains with Bradley Martin, bro.
You don't think Snoop has the
No!
reach advantage
No!
to fuck him up a little bit?
No! Snoop makes contact with Steve Will Do It's forehead, his arm's gonna snap in half, bro. He's a lengthy, limbsy guy, you know? Dude, shout out Snoop Dogg. Hey,
All right, and
I'd
the
smoke
last
to you
one,
right now.
because I got to get out of here because the
I know.
draft's already started.
I know.
The last one that we put on Twitter, and people have already, we've already had like 20 votes, and
Yeah, I know, it's gaining pretty good. Respect it.
I kind of want to talk about this for 5
Follow the
minutes
followers.
because
Hey, follow MMA Complete on Twitter. Sorry. Follow MMA Complete on Complete MMA. I thought it was MMA Complete on Twitter.
it's complete _MMA.
Oh. Well, follow MMA Complete Podcast on our Twitter. It's gaining some fucking traction. Let's go. Okay.
I kind of want to talk about this for 2 minutes. Jake Paul versus Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but I think Jake Paul wins. In an MMA fight. Now, Joe Rogan's 54.
In an MMA fight.
Joe Rogan's 54. He has really great I want to get this technical term.
I'm going JoJo, just so you know. JoJo Rogan, you're on my team.
Taekwondo is the martial art that Joe Rogan started with. That's how he has the spitting kicks and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He also has extensive jiu-jitsu background now.
Trained a little Muay Thai.
Jake Paul
He's trained
has
Muay Thai.
wrestling
Whoa,
background.
whoa. There's a difference. He has trained in Taekwondo. Also has done kickboxing.
He's done
Also
everything.
has trained in Muay Thai. He's never been to Thailand, which he said he's never been. The guy can kick.
Yeah.
Jake Paul cannot kick. Continue.
I think first of all, this would never happen because, as Joe Rogan has said, he's juiced to the gills. Like, if he ever takes a piss test, he's going to melt the cup, which I respect for saying it. And why the fuck wouldn't he? He has no obligation to
Alright,
stay
I
on
was
any
going to
pills.
say that too, and I'm glad you... Yeah.
But I think Jake Paul has a little bit of wrestling background, and I think if this fight goes any more than, 3 minutes... No, he does. He has collegiate wrestling background. He went to Cleveland State, Division II, and he has wrestling
Against a
background.
black belt.
Listen, I'm not saying he's going to outclass Joe Rogan by any means, but I think if this fight goes a little bit longer, which I think Jake Paul has the skill to do standing, I think he can go
You see my
5
face.
minutes. I see your face. You see my face? I'm serious.
Yeah, no, you don't look serious because
I'm like,
Wait,
I'm like 70% serious.
you're gonna change your you're not serious.
No, I am. I'm a little serious.
I'm 100%.
Yep.
I'm 100% serious.
You think Joe Rogan fucks him up in a minute? Finishes him?
I think if Jake Paul tries to take Joe Rogan to the ground wrestling with his
I don't think he would.
his little collegian,
I don't think he would.
This little collegian, maybe with a flower ribbon for great participation trophy. Jake Paul's little collegian wrestling. Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that. You don't want to go to the ground with a black belt. Duh. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to the ground with him. You have to knock him out. Joe Rogan's going to take you down to the ground.
Right, that's why I mentioned his background.
And I think he doesn't. I think they do stand, and I think Jake Paul doesn't connect. Because it doesn't always happen like that. Ask Derek Lewis, it don't happen like that. It would absolutely go in Joe Rogan's favor because of the kicks, dude. He's going to kick the fuck out of his front leg.
And you agree with most of our Twitter, by the way, because Twitter's at 80% Joe Rogan.
I voted for him.
Yeah.
On both my Twitters.
I voted for Jake Paul.
Yeah, you're
Fans
like,
Only Sports, I put Joe Rogan up. So I went 1-1. What? I'm indecisive. I'm indecisive. I'm betting on all the horses.
Because the black
Betting
belt's
on all
gonna
the
win.
horses.
The black belt's gonna win.
Alright, that's going to do
yeah.
it. Episode 92 in the books. We are 2 months away from episode 100. Go follow us on our Twitter, @complete_MMA. Go check us out on our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. Next week, we're going to have a website set up, so make sure you stay on tune with our Twitter so you can hear about that. Go follow Fans Only Sports. If you're watching now, go check out the draft special that we're going to be doing starting whenever I get out of this, so in 5 minutes. Number 1 pick for me, Aiden Hutchinson to Jacksonville. That's what I got. I'm calling it now.
Probably already happened.
I don't think so. It usually takes 20 minutes for the first pick. But we will see that. Anyway, MMA Complete Podcast. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Check us out next week and check us out May 7th when we do our live reactions for UFC 274, which we're going to start either 6 or 8 p.m., so we might go the whole time. 7-hour podcast is fucking long, but we used to do it, and I'm getting back into the vibes of how we did it back in the day when we had the views. So make sure you stay tuned and check us out next week when we're going to have full information on that, and we're going to be talking about the pod bet too. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We're out of here. Have a good week. See you episode 93.